Hello, managers, and welcome to episode 4 of the 2016 BROhio show called the Nailbiter Week. And we're going with the Nailbiter Week because look at this. These nails are bit down to the bone. And that's because it was a very close week for every single game. I think the biggest blowout this week was 11 points. So definitely all the scores were very close, and I was on the edge of my seat all Sunday night and Monday night. So we'll get through those. But to start off, I have two things. One, finally, we finished the 2016 Best Team Name poll. And I'll tell you guys, the last two people to do it were Austin and Roger. So give them a hard time. Even though they have their excuses, but it was up there for 3 weeks. So give them a hard time for me. The other thing is, if you were a diligent manager and you saw last week when I changed the settings to change it so that ties are recorded, I also adjusted the playoff settings for how you get into the playoffs. Previously, they were set for at the end of the season. If two teams were vying for a playoff spot, it was the team that got into the playoffs was the team that had the better in-season record against the other team. So even if someone was down 30 points on the season, if they had beaten that other team that's trying to get into the playoffs, they would take the playoff spot. And I think overall it's not healthy, or it wasn't a good situation for the playoffs. So you guys, I bet there'll be some differing opinions, but I think that it makes more sense for the person that gets the most points for throughout the season to make it into the playoffs rather than just the person that beat the other person somewhere within the league, because it is more of a longitudinal point scoring system. So I went with that change just to note, because I didn't note it last week, but it's in the settings, so you can check it out. But moving on from the announcements into the tits, we have no trades this week. And for the injury table, I'm doing something different. Instead of doing the out and the questionable, I'm just kind of doing a watch list. So the out people are not going to be on the list. The permanently out people are not going to be on the list. But it's going to kind of just be a watch list, and it's going to have the managers' names, so you can kind of look for your name and look for your player. And I'm just going to read through the list as it scrolls. But I think it'll be better for us, and then it's a lot easier for me in the prepping phase to make these videos. So hopefully it'll work out for you guys. And I'm sure people just check the injuries as it goes anyway. So here we go. Jay Cutler, Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh McCown, Cam Newton, Carson Palmer, Tony Romo, Trevor Siemian. Running backs Jamal Charles, Tevin Coleman, Niall Davis, Kenneth Dixon, Rashad Jennings, Chris Johnson, Jeremy Langford, Doug Martin, Thomas Rawls, Jonathan Stewart, Dwayne Johnson, Charkandrick West. Wide receivers Dez Bryant, Corey Coleman, Eric Decker, Devin Funchess, Darius Hayward-Bay, Tyler Lockett, Braxton Miller, Dante Moncrief, Sammy Watkins, Kevin White, and tight ends Eric Ebron, Zach Ertz, Antonio Gates, Vance McDonald, Julius Thomas. Again, it doesn't cover all the people that have been out, and it doesn't cover all the people that are on injury watch in those positions, but I kind of try to pick and choose based on players that are owned and players that are relevant to fantasy. So moving on to the final part of the tits, our trophies, and we actually have 4 trophies today, so it's a big week for trophies. Our first trophy is the best team name of 2016, and that is, congratulations to Tyler, the Zika virus. I was really pulling for Hip Hip Harambe's. I would have liked Zika virus better if you had Ezekiel Elliott on your team, but it was a good name nonetheless, and I love that it's all caps just because it's really funny. But congratulations, Tyler, for best team name, following the Adrian Petersons from last year. We have our first touchdown king this week, and it's Roger. Get graped. However, he lost, so just to show you, you can get 10 touchdowns and still not even break 100 points. So, Roger, you get the touchdown king week, but sorry, you still get the L. We also have two monsters, and surprise, surprise, it is Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. So congratulations to Tyler, 35 points on Matt Ryan, and Luke, 36 points on Julio Jones. A big week for those two, and we'll see if they can keep it up. I know they've got a couple of tough games coming up. As far as the full season trophy standings go, Nathan still stands at the top with the bomb season, most points at 426. David has the dead fish trophy at 299. The Superman week, Mary Lou and Sarah still at 128 as the Superman week. And Russell still with that toilet week on week 1, 59 points, as well as the worst loss that week 1, 63 points. And Russell still keeping going with the fighter trophy at 432 points against. So big week for trophies, 4 trophies. And moving on to the matchup reviews. The first matchup is Kyle versus David. We both scored under our projection, and my overperformer was Matt Jones at 19, and DeAndre Hopkins scoring a big 0 for me was my underperformer. And had I played Allen Hurns, could have had 10 more. David had Terrence West at 17 points was his big score. Deshaun Jackson at 0. But what really killed David, that decision to sit Michael Crabtree, 26 points could have had. That would have changed a lot for his team moving forward. But it was a good week. David, it was a good match, but you're no match for Le'Veon Bell. Next match is Austin versus Tyler. Both scored over their projections, but Tyler, with the monster Matt Ryan this week, put up 35 points. That really carried him through. As well, Austin had AJ Green, 23 points. Good week. Cameron Artis Payne, only 1 point, and Travis Benjamin, only 2 points, were their underperformers. And then John Brown and Jimmy Graham could have helped him out, but that one was the one that was done on Sunday, so they got to breathe easy after Sunday night and didn't have to go through this Monday night nail biting. But Sunday was very close for them, and that was fun to see it happen. Justin and Zach, the two lowest scorers, so Justin really got lucky this week. Second lowest score, but you get the win. That's what fantasy is all about. Greg Olson put up 15 points, and Trevor Siemian, with the injury, down to 6 points. Michael Floyd could have gave you +9. Zach with the Seahawks D at 11 points. Latavius Murray only at 1. And Gary Barnage could have been a +4. So there's a lot of people that lost this week that could have won if they would have traded, like David and Michael Crabtree, Austin and John Brown, Zach and Gary Barnage. Like, there's a lot of tough decisions that cost wins this week. Look at these nails. Jeez, it was a tough week. Andrew and Russell. Andrew had Zeke at 20 points, and Russell had Will Fuller at 20 points. Torrey Smith put up 0, and Matt Stafford only put up 7. Both of them played the wrong quarterback this week. Blake Bortles would have given Andrew the win. Another one where the person that lost could have won with one different decision. And Russell with Dak Prescott being his poor sit decision. Ironically, Dak does matter. Moving on to Roger versus Mary Lou and Sarah. This one was close. Watching it tonight with Mary Lou, she was mad at Odell, but McKinnon finally got it done with the touchdown. to give Roger the loss, even though Roger got the touchdown king this week. Isaiah Crowell put up 19 for him. DeMarco Murray continues to be the number one running back for the ladies, 23 points. Both teams had a negative player this week. Roger with the Panthers D, Mary Lou and Sarah with their kicker. But Roger was the only person that lost this week that couldn't have won with one of his sitting decisions. So at least he can know that he actually lost and there wasn't anything he could have done to change that. So Orleans could have given him +1. Mary Lou and Sarah, another quarterback decision. It is what it is. Phillip Rivers did great anyways. So good job for the two of you. Final game is Luke versus Nathan. It was the battle of the Titans. Clash of the Titans this week. It's two of our best teams in the league went at it, and Julio Jones, the monster, pulled it out, 36 points. Charles Sims put up 0, and Philip Dorsett could have been 12 more for Luke. With Nathan, Kyle Rudolph put up 11. Kyle Rudolph continuing to be really good tight end 1 this year. LeGarrette Blount, the shutout to the Patriots really hurt him. And then Ben Roethlisberger, oh my gosh, 19 points. Could have been more. 34 points. He was 1 point away from a monster. But here, I'll take this moment to announce you don't get a monster trophy if your benched player gets a monster. So at least it didn't happen, so I wouldn't have had to make that decision on the fly. But for future reference, benched players cannot get you the trophies. So Ben Roethlisberger would, however, given Nathan the win over Luke. So tough losses this week. Tough for the fingernails, I'm sure, if anyone else is like me. But definitely a fun week to watch and a fun week to come out on top. The current standings, we have Luke in first place, and there's 3 of us that are 3-1. Luke, myself, and Justin. And then we have a big chunk at 2-2, and then the 3 at 1-3 are Zach, Russell, and David, rounding out the bottom curve. Nathan in fourth place still has the most points for at 426, and Russell in 11th there. You see the points against 432. But we have Roger coming up on Nathan at 403, and DeLadies with 403 points against coming up on that fighter trophy for Russell. So good job, and you guys can see the trending there. We have not a lot of movement near the bottom of the page. David and Russell bounced around, and the winners moved up in general, but it was a great week, and I hope you guys are doing good. Let me know if you have any ideas for trophies or ideas for anything that I can do to improve the league. But other than that, I don't have any other final thoughts. Just hope you guys are enjoying the BROhio show. Have good luck on the waiver this week, and I will see you guys next week in week 5. And if you're wondering why I'm not wearing a shirt, it's because back when I interviewed Nathan, I made him a deal that I would do a show without a shirt if he would do the interview that night for me. And no interview today, but we do have 14 weeks and 12 teams. So this is just going to be one of the weeks where we don't do an interview, but have shorter videos. So enjoy. You guys have a good one, and talk to you later.